when we started planning the symposium, we decided we had 3 things that we wanted to accomplish. And the first one, well, the 3 are that we wanted you to come away inspired, informed, and prepared. And I've heard from a lot of you that you may have been inspired, which is great. I know that I've come away inspired, and I'm tremendously grateful to be here at UBC and to have so many Canadians in the room and so many new faces here, so thank you. We also hoped that you'd come away informed with increased awareness of who's been doing the good work for generations and of the innovation taking place in research, policy, and tactics. And hopefully we accomplish that for you as well. And finally, we hope that you feel like you're leaving prepared with a better sense of the complex influences shaping conservation today and how we can effectively leverage them to reshape how we think about conservation as a community. We heard a lot about that today. And how we build relationships to put nature at the core of our societies and communities. I want to thank our sponsors. The Doris Duke Foundation was our named sponsor. They have been a real supporter for a long time of the biodiversity community in the United States and a real leader of that community. RBC has been very generous to us. BC Parks Foundation, Nature United, the Nature Conservancy, and the Nature Conservancy of Colorado, Mighty Arrow Foundation, which is based in Colorado, Center for Large Landscape Conservation, and the Real Estate Foundation of BC. We could not do this symposium without any of our supporters. I want to thank our MCs, Happy and Dave, who are both also on our board. You guys did an amazing job. Give it up for them. And I want to thank our extraordinary staff. And I also want to thank Ken Salazar as our founder and visionary. I was just telling him the other day at one of our board meetings, I went around and asked people why they joined the board. I inherited all the board members too. And everybody to a person said they were inspired by you. And this is the first time I've ever heard Ken speak, and now I totally understand where they were coming from. So thank you. And if you would like to say the last word, I think it would be great.
Let me just say what I said this morning. The future of the world really is about how we take care of our habitat, our place, our home. And we can be that great example in North America just because of who we are. From the indigenous communities who were here first, to those who arrived more recently, to the great growth of our cities, to the major projects that we're seeing all over this country. I think we can do it in North America. And I think we are fortunate that Colorado State University really is the one that has been pushing this project to bring us all together. The idea is flow. I was talking to Ms. Bruce, who runs the Great Rivers Greenway now, or is a staff assistant there in St. Louis, and how from an idea that came to fix that little rusty roof on the arch. Now they are connected up to the Mississippi River, 135 miles of greenway, bringing in the kids from the city of St. Louis, from all backgrounds, to be part of these great opportunities. We can do that everywhere, and even in these times where we find it challenging, especially in the United States. We're fortunate that we have a great neighbor to the north in Canada. So let's give it up for the Canadians. They've done a great job. To Vancouver or British Columbia. And as I was talking to Lorenzo and my Mexican friends who are here, and there are many, thinking about La Grandeza de Mexico. I told them, you find the greatness of Mexico, first of all and foremost, in its people, its culture, the warmth of the Mexican people. But you find it equally with the biodiversity of the Sonoran deserts and the Yucatan and the Golfo de California, and you can go on, all across that beautiful landscape. And then in between those two great nations with their own great history and their own great sovereignty, which has to be respected, you have the United States of America, the oldest democracy that's still thriving in the world, whether you agree or disagree with the current leadership, but a place that really now for 2 centuries plus has really been the beacon of hope and opportunity and democracy for all people. I remember well, I worked in all 50 states and many different projects, but I remember opening up the crown of the Statue of Liberty in New York City. This was back in 2011, 2012. I was Secretary of Interior, so I was in charge. And after 9/11 and the attack on 9/11 and the 3,000 people who died in that attack and how it really brought the world in so many ways to its knees, they decided to close the crown of the Statue of Liberty. And so we went in and did a major change for public safety and health reasons and other things. And when we opened it up, we said, this is still the beacon for America, whether it's Ellis Island or whether it's the history that we have, which we have yet to uncover, which is really part of, if you will, we talk about conservation and preservation, but it's also a history that has to be lifted up. The history of Native Americans, the Trail of Tears, the history, which is sometimes, people don't want to talk about some of these things, but Africans brought to the United States and to the continent as against their will in chains. Or the conquest, if you will, of Mexicans in the Mexican-American War, where the Southwest was lost to Mexico. Those are just realities of our history. So part of what we need to do also in the context of the work that we do is to lift up those voices in that history that has been forgotten. I want to give a shout out to the team again. So Leslie, if you will stand up, and the rest of the team, all you stand up together. Let's give them a round of applause. They did a terrific job. You know, it's not that hard, Happy, to organize these things when you're doing them in Denver, Colorado. But when you're taking an international program, and for the first time you're venturing beyond the borders of the United States at Vancouver, my hat's off to them for having done a great job. And then to members of the board who've really carried on this work tirelessly for now a long time. So Happy, Tom Goujon, the rest of you on the board, please stand up. Let's give them all a round of applause. I think it's in these times where you ask the question, what do we do? Not so much, I think, in Canada, probably not in Mexico with President Sheinbaum, but here in the United States, I think we all are asking the question, and it has reverberations throughout the world. What do we do? There's a lot that is at stake. There's a lot that's being rolled back. There's lots of things that are happening that those of us who've been in these movements on conservation or civil rights, diversity, equity, and inclusion, that's what drives Happy, me, other people. What do we do? Well, we do what you're doing right now. And you do what we're doing in the convenings that will be determined, and you do it in whatever way that you can. But I'm optimistic, and I'm very, very hopeful about the future. And I'm confident that the CSU North American Conservation Center will be a part of the future. Muchas gracias. Thank you.